Next project I'm going to do is changing the ensuite or updating the ensuite. Well, you can see over there, there's a window on the side there. I'm going to be blocking that window up, and then I've got a guy coming in tomorrow to put two velux windows in the roof, because the window needs blocking up, because I'm going to put a shower tray right behind there. Obviously you can't have a shower tray right next to a window, like we're right next to a road. And then the light will come down through the roof. Should be good. Right, so we got an ensuite here. So it's coming from the bedroom. When we bought the house, it's not done to what we would think we would like. So there's 2 steps down, but there's no. So you got the basin, before I fall down the steps, the loo, there's a bath in front of the window there, but I said earlier that I'm going to block up that window, and in this area here I'm going to put a shower tray. So it's quite a big ensuite, and we got a guy coming in tomorrow to do the velux windows, put 2 velux windows here. But what we have decided, because we think it's better for modesty and what have you, I'm going to be building a stud wall. So as we go down these 2 steps here, it'll be carpeted, and then around about this point here, I'm going to be building a stud wall from there to there. So we'll open a door here, and we'll have a basin, we'll have a loo, and we'll have a shower tray there. Windows are now in. So we got 2 skylights. They're polyurethane ones on the inside, because this is a shower room, so we don't want the painted wood ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these, looks like standard toe and groove floorboards. I'm probably going to put down 18mm plywood, but 18mm is not standard size for, or a good size for flooring anyway. So I'm going to put an extra 9mm layer on top of the 18mm, so that'll make it 27mm thick floorboard. It should be okay anyway, because I'm going to be completely covering the floor anyway and tiling it, so that it'll all be sealed, so you won't get to the floorboards anyway. I'm going to try and get these. Pipes changed, because these micro bore pipes go to the radiator there. I'm going to try and get a plumber to get rid of them, and hopefully change the way that the radiator is put in there by going through the bedroom floor, which is a lower, as you can see we've stepped down, so the bedroom, underneath the bedroom floor, should come straight out here. Okay, so what I've done now, now that I've got it all insulated back up there again now, I'm starting to put the plasterboard on the ceiling now. So I've cut it to size, top to bottom. For expediency, I've actually I've put the board there, which covers the other window, but I'm going to chop out, I've measured where the corners of the windows are going to be. I'm going to chop out where the window is now, and then I'll be able to put another one here, because I've measured it. The edge of one of these will go on a piece of wood, on a rafter, and then the edge of one of these will be on another rafter, so I've got plenty of area to screw in some more. I've measured where the holes are going to be for the downlighters, so I can actually coordinate where they are off of each of the walls, and then just drill a hole to get into them. Put an extra beam up there, I don't know if you can see that, an extra beam up there. I put the wires to the extractor fan and the light switch to come in through there. That will come through the middle of the false wall, down to a switch here, and down to an isolator for the fan up here. So what I've done now is I've put a couple of plasterboards up, and I've chopped out the middle. I've done some coordinates to find out where the corners are to chop them out. I'm preparing the floor for the ensuite. I'm about to put the plywood down now. As you can see, I've put some bracings across the old joists, because when the plywood goes down and I want tile on the top, I don't want any movement whatsoever that might dislodge one of the floor tiles. So I'm bracing that, probably overkill I suppose, but I'm doing that. I put some extra ones down here because the base rail of the wall that's going to go across here with the door, I want to be able to screw down into something that's more solid than nothing at all. What I'm doing now is I'm putting the floorboards down, and I'm going right the way across, from one wall right the way across to the wall, to the other wall. And then I'm going to I put the 18mm down. I've marked out where the joists are down there underneath, so I know where to screw. I'm going to add those marks to the 9mm, so I can screw through both of them at the same time, and I'll probably do them at 8 inches pitch between each screw. I've just got rid of the flow and return, and I've just drilled 2 holes, one there and one there, so that the flow and return can go through into the ensuite, and then the radiator can be fixed to the wall by the pipes through there. My next step is to, because this the existing water feeds and waste feed is in the wrong place for the new basin, I'm going to move it over to about 30 inches over to there, so that the unit for the basin and the toilet is right next to each other. The thing is, I need to get to the other side of this wall to drill through, and that is in a tiny little, you can see this is a pitched roof, so there's a tiny little loft the other side of this wall, and I'm going to go and have a look at that now, which you can see while I'm doing it. Some lights up here, and so this is the other side. I'm going to create a new hole 30 inches from this point there, and it's going to be around about there. Well, that side of the wall is put the studs on, so I'm going to put the edge of the door frame on now. So this is wider, so when the piece of plasterboard goes on there, it should turn out to be flush all the way across, and was skimmed anyway. Perfect. So that's one side of the door frame on. I'm going to build it up now. Make sure I've got exactly the right width for the other side, and build up the other side. So that's the stud wall finished, and the door frame assembled. All the studs are in, probably more than I need, but put plenty of studs in, solid as a rock. And what I'll do now is I'll plasterboard the inside of here, and then this room will be ready to plaster. So what I've also done is in between, I know it's leaning to the wall, it doesn't need it, but I've put some insulation between the noggins. So now we're going to block this window in. I'm taking the frame out. Got some breeze blocks down there ready to go on. But I've got to move, taking the glass out. Now we've just sawn the frame out. There's a nice metal lintel, cat neck or something, I don't know, above there. I might take the bell cast off that you can see just up there. But this is kind of out there. So that must be an open window. You can buy something what they call a starter, wall starter kit, which you screw up there, but these are longer. So I'm hoping that when I screw those in, they're going to give some solid restraint and fix those side walls. Right, I've done 2 courses now. I think I'm going to need to do 5 courses. It's going on okay. I've mixed up my sand and cement. So we filled in that window with breeze box. That's going to be the ensuite. I'll show you the inside. So now I've blocked up the window. I've done a slight skim of sand and cement over the top, which is, and then what I'm going to do is create a frame here to allow for 2 shelves to put the soaps and stuff on. So I'm creating the shelves now. 2 shelves for the shower. Boarded front, back, sides and tops and bottoms of the shelves. And I'll put some beading on there. And then we get the guys to come in and plaster over everything. That's the inside of the window. I've created a couple of shelves because this is where the shower is going to be. I'm just starting to do the plumbing now. So I'm going to run the pipes down there. Out through there is the shower tray. Right, what I've done here, because the pipes are a bit loose, a little bit loose and flexible at the bottom, I want to make sure that when I do solder the T pieces that connect the flow and then flow onto there, that these don't get put in the wrong position, which they can. Because that's a clearance hole, probably about 18 millimeters in there, maybe 19, I don't know. So that could be there, that could be there. So when I come to solder them, it might be long. So what I've done is in a piece of wood, I've measured exactly 6 inches apart, or 150 mil, which is where they need to be sticking out from. And then what I'm going to do is put them in there. There's 16 millimeter hole, so slightly clearance, but it's still quite tight. Tighten up. In there. In there. Slide that to the back. To there. So that, in theory, they should not move around so much. always got a small mirror to check underneath joints. So now I'm going to be coming back. We're going to go through this wall with the copper pipe. In the loft space that's behind there, I'm going to run it along and come out for the cold for the toilet and hot and cold for the basin. So I'm just marking off where it needs to come in so that the concealed cistern will still be, the pipe will still come up to the concealed cistern. So I marked on there where it needs to be. I know that those holes have been already drilled, so we know where that is. So I'm going to drill now through there for the toilet. The reason I went for an inch hole through there is because what I want to do, work here wrongly, I'm going to put 22 mil. I got some better 22 mil than this, but I got 22 mil, and then I'm going to sleeve the 15 mil with the 22 mil. Mainly, I got some fresh 22 mil. Mainly so that the pipe that we're going to be sending the water through doesn't get corroded by the cement around the outside. So that's why I'm doing that. So on the other side of that wall now, in this small loft area, I've got the cold coming up here, put a bend in there, finding it all the way through to the position for the toilet and the basin as well, hot and cold. So I'm going to put a joiner in there now, fix that, and then that should be all good to go on this side in terms of the water flow. And then I got to sort out the waste for the basin to fit this this strap here, this boss strap. But let's do the water first. So this is going to be where the cold for the toilet, the cold for the basin, and the hot for the basin. Probably get a few dislikes because of this. But I'm having a go myself. And if it works, it works. So I've got one tile on, because I'm going to put the actual shower bar on here anyway. So I'm just going to make sure everything is fitting okay. I can then tile around there, it's no problem at all. I've got to make sure there are 150mm centres between the two pipes. There's 30mm of pipe sticking out on both of those. So the olive will go onto that, and then the extension bit on there will go on there and fit the isolator. So I'm just going to put this one on here now. Right, what I've got here is 18mm thick marine ply. Now that's going to go on top of the joist in the ensuite, and then the shower tray is going to go down on top of it. I've cut a hole in the exactly where the waste pipe or trap needs to go. There's 4 joists within this span. and I've drilled every 9 inches or so. So this will sit between the joists. That marine ply will sit on top of here, screwed down through these joists. Then the trap will go down through there and out through to the waste pipe. Well, I've screwed this down in many places. This extra 9mm just to bring it up so that we can have level tiles to the shower tray. Well, I'm putting the floor tiles down now. So I bought this MAPI floor tile adhesive. It's super flexible, it takes about 8 hours to dry. You can buy the rapid set, but I'm not quick enough to do things like that. So this takes about 8 hours to set. So I'm mixing up about half a bag for now. We've done everything that we need to in there, decorated it out and things like that. So that's one project finished. Come and have a little look. Right, so we're going to go down through here. Obviously this wall is now complete, all plastered. We've had a extractor fan isolator there. Carpets on the floor. And then as we come through here, we've got, that is the basin and loo. The tiles are on. New door is on. Go through, we've got this mirror there. So we've got the screen on. The lights are in. The tray. All the tiles are nicely fixed to that. The pockets are there. They're all nicely sealed and siliconed. That's on. All the wall is tiled. Everywhere's got the silicone sealant all the way around each of the units. A drenchy shower. You can hear the extractor. It's quite a silent extractor actually. Skirting board on that bit. That's the towel radiator. So now this ensuite is complete. So we're going to go on to the next project. It's taken a little while to do, but then you've seen in what we've done to achieve it. It's taken a little while. I've done most of it myself. Just the electrician and a little bit of the plumbing installation as well that I had to have somebody in for. So I quite enjoyed doing it, so we're going to go on to the next project. That was going to be the end of the video, but I think it's only fair to say that because every DIY project probably has some issues, and this is no exception. It wasn't any issues of my own doing really, so I'm putting the blame somewhere else, but we contracted a plumber to put the shower tray in because it's heavy. It's 170 long by 90 wide. It's quite a heavy tray and I want it done properly. I wanted it to be done level and everything else. Unfortunately, when you do DIYs and things like that, you contract by what you think is going to be good because they've got a decent website, they've got feedbacks from customers on their website, things like that. They're local, they've done plenty of jobs, but you can never be too sure how good they are. And unfortunately, I've commissioned the worst plumber I've ever had in all the years I've been doing this. When I left him to put the tray in, the tray went down, and then obviously you assume that that's okay. And then we turned the water on, and it never went anywhere near the waste. It ran, because the tray is set as almost like a wet room, it needed to go, the water needed to go to the waste because there's no barrier to stop it coming out. So the water went around the back of the waste, along the back wall and onto the floor. So we had to stop the water straight away. So all of that work and planning came to nothing really, because it was just pull your hair out, and it was so upsetting. We had a nice new tray, nice new shower, had the enclosure on, the glass enclosure was on. So I didn't know what to do. Do I trust a different plumber to come out? I tried to complain to this guy, but he was saying, well, you know, the floor wasn't flat or things like that, and he just. But anyway, so I decided to go with another plumber to take everything out and put a new tray in, because by taking that out I had to ruin the tray. And before we carried on putting the screen on and tiling on, just ensured and made him ensure that the water runs to the waste only. But those things happen, and you know, any job you take on, even doing it yourself, you think, oh, I've done that right, I need to do that again. And that's happened to me before. But you need to just persevere through that, and then in the end, if you keep with it, you end up with what you want. And that's what we want. Everything's nice and flat now, the water's going to the waste, the screen is nicely set. There is still no, it is virtually a wet room, it's still flat to the floor. We've had countless showers in there now, so everything's working fine. So this is the end of the video, and on to the next project.